Welcome to the Modern Real Estate Investor Podcast, where we interview the biggest and most successful real estate entrepreneurs, investors, and capital raisers in the world to provide you with the tool sets, the mindsets, and the skill sets to help you conquer yourself, your life, your marriage, and use real estate as your wealth creation vehicle so that you can live a more successful, happy, and fulfilled life of growth and contribution. If what you're after is having it all, if what you desire is becoming the best version you can be across all areas, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, sentimentally, and financially, you've come to the right place. We will bring to you the best of the best real estate entrepreneurs who will give you the insights, knowledge, experience, and skills so that you can go out and crush it financially and across all areas of your life. Grab pencil and paper, sit back, enjoy, and you are welcome to the Modern Real Estate Investor Podcast. So today, I have Omar Khan with me. He's the founder and principal at Boardwalk Wealth. It's a Dallas-based private equity firm connecting international investors with U.S.-based multifamily real estate opportunities. And this company is led by Omar, and they've managed over $350 million of multifamily real estate transactions. And Omar has also advised on over $4 billion in capital financing and mergers and acquisitions transactions in commercial real estate and commodities. So, Omar, thank you very much for being here, man. I appreciate it. And
we appreciate it.
You're welcome to the show, man.
Thanks. Really excited to be here.
So, Omar, the first thing that I do with my guest, man, is I ask them to walk us through their real estate investing journey in 75 seconds or less.
But it's pretty simple, man. I like making money and I hate paying taxes. So that's basically what happened, right? It's an easy, dumb way to make money. I mean, it's a lot easier in real estate than in other lines of work. So that's what I did.
Awesome. So you said you hate making money and you like making money and you hate what?
Paying taxes.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
I hate making money. I can assure you that.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. So, so when did you get started, man? Like at what age?
I don't know. I was like 30, 31, something like that.
31. Okay. And did you as soon as you got started in real estate, did you get started with Boardwalk Wealth or did you do some other things before?
I didn't buy any houses or anything like that. I wasn't really interested in doing that. I had good experiences in investment banking and portfolio management. So I had deal transaction experience and operations experience. So my first transaction was a 138 unit apartment complex in Jacksonville, Lakewood Oaks. So we were successfully repositioned that asset, sold it a few years later. And yeah, and then, it's one deal after the other, and that's what you
do. Cool. So you went straight into commercial real estate investing. Didn't waste time.
No, it's not wasting time. I mean, I don't think it's wasting time buying houses. I think everybody has to do what they feel is a good fit for them, right? So for me, I was never really interested in buying houses. There's not enough money in the world for me to buy a house, one house at a time. So I didn't do that. But I don't think it's wasting money or time. Like if you're really good at it and you make money that way, I think you should totally do that. Everybody should focus on whatever whatever they can make more money in a certain line of work, right? So if you can make more money buying houses, I think you should totally go for it.
Yeah. Okay. So what is it that you're good at, man? Like what has been your superpower so far?
I don't think I have one superpower or a superpower for that matter. I think I just have a good network. I was very lucky that I have a good network. I went to good schools. I think I have a decent work ethic, right? And more importantly, I've had a very loving family that's helped and supported me. I have great professional experiences. So I don't think it's one thing. I think that would be very hard for me to point out. God has been very kind. So, it's a combination of things. And, as I say, I'd much rather be lucky than intelligent. So I think I'm more lucky than intelligent.
Yeah. That's like humility, right? You rather
I don't
be
think
lucky than intelligent.
I don't think there's any real estate developer on the planet that's humble. I don't think there's one real estate developer I've met, and I'm one of them, that's humble. But I like what you're saying, so I'll use the word humble. I guess I'll use it to describe myself. I like that.
Okay, so how come you say that though? How come you say that there's no?
I think if you're in any field at the top level, or you're trying to get to the top, you have some humility, but you also have everybody who's a type A person has a little bit of a narcissistic behavior. They have narcissistic tendencies. They have a God complex of sorts. Not literally a God complex, but a semi-God complex. And most people who are successful have some level of a chip on their shoulder. That's from my experience, knowing people that are successful in other lines of work. And I would say to some degree that reflects me as well. I'm a very driven individual. I'm very money oriented. Okay. I totally do this to make money. Tomorrow, if I found out some, if I found out, say, another business, right, where we could make similar or more money with all the associated benefits, as an example, without killing ourselves in the process, oh, dude, I totally do that business. No problem, man. Like for me, it's just a means to an end. So therefore, I say, like most of the who I feel are successful people or becoming successful people, I would not use the word humble next to them. They might be a little bit humble, but we're talking like, are they 100% humble? No, they're not.
Okay.
But I am going to call myself humble from now on because I like the usage of that term. So thank you for that. I do appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you consider yourself more luckier than smart, right?
Yeah.
And then like God has blessed you, right?
Yeah.
In some way or form, it might be because you may be humble, right? You may
I
be.
might be. I might. Hey, I don't know the way God works, and like,
Me
I'm very
neither.
happy with the way God is working. I am very grateful and happy and lucky that God is working so far in giving.
So, man, talking about real estate development, I know
Yeah.
that you're into real estate development and you are definitely into this to make some money. So, can you walk us through how is it that you can make money through real estate development? I mean, through more specifically, multifamily real estate development.
Well, it's pretty easy, man. You identify a good piece of land. You've got good people on your team that have expertise in all the areas that you need, and you raise money, and then you build a good product and you sell it. Super simple, right?
Yeah.
It's easy in theory and hard in practice. You need a good team around you, though. So if you've got a good team, it's really not the most complex thing in the world. But if you don't have a good team, it can become the most complex thing in the world very, very, very quickly.
Okay. So, and what are those people that you would need in your team? And what are those expertises that you need to cover?
Well, high level wise, you need somebody with construction experience. You need somebody with development experience. Those things are not alike. You need somebody in today's market with capital markets experience. You need somebody who can actually go raise money. You then need financial balance sheet power. Somebody should be able to sign on the loans. You need a good operating team to ensure that you're keeping on track with your budget and making sure all the things are working. You need good accountants to ensure that all of the paperwork is being done on time. You're in compliance with the law. You need good, say, operations people to ensure not that only you have built something, but post building, if you want to operate, you have the financial capability and the operational capability to operate the asset, apart from many other roles, right? I mean, these are the high level roles.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And you, man, as a leader of Boardwalk, like what do you say is like your main job, right? Because like the people who listen to this podcast, man, are people who have chosen, who are like active real estate investors. Maybe they decided to take the passive route as well. Either way, they're people who have chosen to use real estate as their wealth creation vehicles, right? So a lot of them are looking to become active investors, just like you, right? To lead a real estate company, an investment firm. And you, as the leader of Boardwalk, what would you say is your main role?
Well, my main role, number one, is to make sure we have the money. Number two is to make sure we have the right number. Not, I mean, this is not an ordered priority, right? It's not like one is higher than the other, right? Well, we need to have the money. We need to have the right team. We need to ensure that we're keeping on track, and we need to make sure that all the wheels are being greased at the right time to ensure the work keeps progressing, right? Because detours and curves happen along the way. So this is why I said if you don't have a good team, then all of these detours, even a small detour that comes, will become a big problem. So my
Hmm.
job is to do a lot of different things, but most importantly, it's to have a good team around me and to make sure my team is motivated. They are the right people because we don't go off potential, we go off ability, basically. Lots of people have potential. We don't really care about potential. We don't care about talent. We care about can somebody do the job or not.
Hmm. Cool. All
Yeah.
right. And so I really want to talk about like making sure to having the money. I really want to talk about how you go about it.
Yeah.
But before I do that, man, I've recently have been surrounding myself with people who are playing, at a high level than I had been playing before, and I've realized how the game becomes all about people, right? And
Yeah.
for for most entrepreneurs at the beginning stages, well, it's not like that because like they don't even have money to hire people. But you get to a point where in which you have so much money that the game becomes about people. So you don't care about
Well,
potential or talent.
I hope to get to that point one day when money is not a problem.
Okay, okay, yeah, for
I
sure.
hope one
Well,
day get to that position where I'm just doling out $1 million bills, $1 million, salaries everywhere. I'm not at that level yet.
well, I mean, not exactly, right? But at least having been able to have some money to pay someone to do something, right? Um, so if you don't care about talent or potential, and you just care about whether or not someone can do the job or not, do you have like a system for that, like a recruiting system, HR or something?
No, I wish we had a better recruiting and HR system. That's something we have to improve on, and we can rapidly see why we would need that. Look, we've implemented EOS in our business. Lots of other people have done that. I'm lucky enough that common sense goes a long way, right? Uh,
Yeah,
Initially, but look, you need to have good systems. So from the HR point of view, we are improving our systems and processes, right?
yeah.
But I can't honestly tell you we have some sort of like thing in place, right? It's a
Mm-hmm.
combination of common sense, but again, as we mature, as we become better and better, more and more, roles get more and more structured and streamlined. Processes become more and more streamlined and related to one person or two people. So in that regard, that is an ever evolving process for us. In that regard, we can improve a lot. In many other regards, we are basically very good at what we do. So in the
Mm-hmm.
actual operations, in the sourcing of the land, in the capital market side, in the building and development side, on that regards, I would put ourselves up against pretty much anyone. But on the HR side, as we're growing, we're learning more and more about these processes and how to be better at these things.
Yeah. So the actual development, right, and the actual uh building products, like building a good
The
product. That's what you're good
development,
at.
the sourcing, development, and mentorship of people is something we can get much better at. But the actual operations, the development of the actual building, essentially,
Yeah.
the money behind the building, the capital markets experience, that we are very good at. The people side, we are improving on.
Hmm. Do you think that being really good at the more operational side of things, building a good product and building a good building and all of that, making sure that you're going to be able to sell it, do you think that has influenced your ability to be able to get the money?
I hope so.
Like,
I really
what would you
hope so.
what
I
would you
mean, but
prefer? Would you
what do you
prefer to
mean?
be like a what would you prefer to be like a skilled capital raiser, or would you
Yeah.
prefer to build amazing buildings?
I look, first of all, these things are not isolated. You have to do both of these things
Hmm.
together. This is only in the podcasting circles where people think these are isolated items. You have to do both things concurrently. So you don't have an option. You can't go build amazing buildings if you don't have money. If you're
Yeah.
broke, you can't go build amazing buildings. And conversely, you can't just, if you have money, you can't just go do and build amazing buildings, because there's lots of rich guys that have lost a shit ton of money in real estate, or by the way, any other business, right? So you need both things. Now, what would I'd rather be? I'd much rather be my parents were billionaires and they gave me a shit ton of money. I didn't have to work for it. That would be amazing, right? That would be my goal number one. Since I can't get to that goal because I can't go back in time, make my parents win a lottery ticket, then have billions of dollars. Short of that, I can just be the best version of myself, and combination. And that's, look, everybody has to approach it with their own strengths. If somebody's really good at marketing, uh, then they have that, and then they bring on other partners along the way to buffet their weakness, right? So they are focusing on their strength. In our side, we are very good at the operational aspect of things, the due diligence and all those aspects of things. So we have to learn marketing and how to get more investors. So I would love to tell you that if we just did this, we'd be amazing. But a lot of these things, they have to go hand in hand, because even if you have one and not the other, it's it's like it doesn't, nothing works, is what I'm trying
Yeah.
to say.
Okay.
Sadly. Otherwise, I'd be
So
really rich.
I want to know about some of the deals that you got going on, man. But first, what is the QSR fund? Well, I know what it is, right? It's the Quick Service Restaurant Fund. But tell me about that, man. That's really interesting. That's really like odd, right? And out of like how can I say this? Different from all the other things that you have.
Well, look, I mean, it's just an income play for us. A lot of our real estate developments, acquisitions, we're heavily into the value add space as well. they're a combination of either income or capital appreciation, but it's really appreciation. You're forcing the value up. But so that's on one side of the spectrum. If you look at your whatever your earnings or wealth as a portfolio, on the other side, real estate is not a very high cash sort of play. Right, it can be one-off, but systematically, it's not a very. You're not clipping 20, 30, 40% a year. Nobody's doing that in real estate systematically.
Yeah.
Right. So for that, for consistency of income and heavy cash play, that's the product we have for our investors and for ourselves. So that you can marry both ends of the spectrum. You can have the monthly income while you also focus towards the appreciation angle of things.
Mm. The development side is like a longer play, right?
I mean, it's like a say 2, 3, 4 year play. I wouldn't say it's very long, but it's not very short. Also, it's not like a 2 month sort of game, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would say it's a medium term game. If that's what you're. I mean, I don't think 2 to 4 years is very long, but I also don't think it's very short. It's somewhere in the middle.
Yeah. So in well, man, right now in like the modern era that we're living in, 2 to 4 years is a lot. It's like a lifetime.
Okay, if somebody thinks that, then we don't work with those people.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
If somebody thinks 2 to 4 years is a long time, then look, we tell people up front, look, if you are off that mindset, we're not a good fit for you. Things we don't operate in those timelines, and I'm not going to lie to you to get your money. So if you obviously look, I don't think you should just give me your money. I should provide a valuable service to you. I should bring some sort of positivity into your life, right? You give me money and you want me to make money, and I will make money and give it back to you because that's your rightful share. So I have to provide you a very good service, but I can't misalign expectations, right? I can't tell you that tomorrow I'm going to double your money because that's not real. I'm not going to lie to you. So I'm going to manage your expectations and tell you what is realistic. And by the way, if you don't think that's a good fit, for instance, if you think 2 to 4 years is a very long period of time, and you're more concerned about next month or 2 or 3 or 6 months, then you shouldn't give me money, right? Because it's your money at the end of the day. You should choose something that you feel works for you, right? It gives you happiness. What's the point of working so hard and then doing things that make you miserable?
Mm-hmm. So if anyone out there is listening and they think 2 to 4 years as a pretty nice period of time to be able to increase their investment, um, what kind of opportunities would you have for those kinds of people who think that waiting 2 to 4 years to make an investment and then make it back and then plus more? What do you like? What opportunities do you have available for them, and where can they get them, man?
So you're saying less than 2 to 4 years? Is that what
Well,
you're
no,
saying?
2 to 4 years, right? Like if
Okay,
there's
so
someone
they
out
think
there.
2 to 4 years. Oh, okay. So they think 2 to 4 years is reasonable. Yeah, okay. No, but then those are some minimum timeframes that we also working, right? Because we tell people, look, we're really good at what we do, but we're not magicians, right? I mean, I can't like wave a magic wand and money starts falling from the sky, because if I could do that, you and I wouldn't be talking. I would just keep waving the magic wand and money would keep falling. I'd be rich, right? And then we don't need any of this marketing stuff. I just keep having the money fall from the sky. So look, if somebody has those expectations in line, look, we're very conservative, moderate type people, right? We don't lean in one direction or the other. We just want to chart a simple, easy path. We don't want to be too aggressive. We don't want to be too conservative. It's just right down the middle. So for us, if somebody is off that persuasion and they think being conservative and being somewhat very careful with your investments is the line that they want to take, then we have developments. We just launched our new development, Jefferson Reserve in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. We've got a great portfolio and development pipeline there. They can join us there. We have value add acquisitions that are all over the Southeast, Georgia and Florida and Texas being the specific markets we focus on. So there's that. And look, if you want a cash play, we also have the QSR fund, basically where you can clip a 12 to 13% coupon. Obviously, that's annualized, so divided by 12, right, per month. So that's also attractive, right? So it all boils down to what do people want to do? And we personally think we're very good at what we do. But again, we have to manage our expectations, right? I mean, if the expectations and perspectives are in line, then we always love to work with people. But there's lots of times when somebody wants to get out of a deal in 6 months or 7 months, and I'm not going to lie to people, right? So we tell people a lot of times, look, maybe we are not a good fit for what you're trying to accomplish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then you still have the option for a medium term 2 to 4 year right minimum investment, but also a like a faster, a faster investment that can give investors a return, faster on a month to month basis. I believe, which is the quick service restaurant fund. So where can people get more information of all of this, man?
Oh man, that's super simple, right? Y'all can go to my website, boardwalkwealth.com. So you can join my mailing list by visiting my website, boardwalkwealth.com. The form is right on the homepage. That's boardwalkwealth.com.
And another thing that I found really curious, man, is you do a bunch of education, right?
Yeah, look, we don't like. I'm not one of those guys that sells you a mentoring or coaching program. I'm not one of those guys, right? We just a lot of times, whenever we're seeing in the market, for instance, or what we see on our own projects, I realized very quickly that instead of writing like say a 2,000 word paragraph essay, right? We can just quickly record a video with our phone, and then it's much easier for our investors to digest it as well. So think about it this way: if you're driving in a car, right? It's you don't have to literally look at my face, but you can hear my voice, right? And say you've in 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 minutes, we've basically gotten you up to date with what's going on. What are we seeing in the market? Versus, I just wrote like a 2,000 word essay. So
For sure.
then you kind of have to sit down, you have to read it, take time out, and a lot of people don't have time for that, right?
Yeah, definitely. So you have a lot of education, and a lot of it is, like really good education, like you said, about what's going on in the market. All of that is available on your Instagram, right? Which is Boardwalk
You,
Wealth, basically.
yeah,
That's it.
Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn. Yeah, we just want to help people make better informed decisions. Even if they don't give us money, that's not a problem. We have enough money. We just want investors to make the best decisions for themselves. So because what we feel is, look, the better decision investors make, the more informed they are, the better it is for everyone, right?
Exactly. So what is on the horizon for you, Omar?
Look, we've got this development pipeline. We've got about close to 1,000 units we have to develop in the next year and a half. We keep looking at acquisitions and value add deals all over the Southeast. And we're very opportunistic. So if the deal works, we do it. If the deal doesn't work, we just pass, we move on with our lives, right? But the whole point of this business is to be patient, to learn how to be comfortable with being patient, because there's going to be long times when you're not doing a deal. And that's fine. You don't have to do a deal every day, right? But you have to be very careful. You have to be very patient. You have to be very conservative. And then you have to pray to God that hopefully things work out.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So can you walk me through how a good deal, like what a good deal is for you, and what are the things that you basically need to like put a check mark on in order for you to be like, this is a good deal. Let's go. Let's do it.
Look, for acquisitions and development is different. For acquisitions, we're primarily looking at only in our markets. So we're active in Texas, Georgia, Florida, surrounding markets. So let's assume there's an amazing deal, but it's out in Colorado, right? Or Southern Florida, where we're not, right? Well, it could be an amazing deal. We're just not going to look at it or do it, right? Doesn't matter if the deal is good or bad. Now, and I'm only talking about acquisitions right now. Now, within acquisitions, within our markets, we pretty much know all of the sub-markets. So we kind of have a fair idea when we see something, okay, where is it? What are the demographics like? Blah, 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 right? So we kind of already have it filtered down. Now, this only comes with experience and reputation in doing deals. Now, within those deals, we're typically looking at, hey, what is the revenue upside? What are the demographics like? What are the schools like? What are the people like? Because a lot of this is qualitative analysis. Once we're comfortable with that, then we go to the quantitative and underwriting analysis, right? How much rent is there? How much revenue upside is there? Can we cut on any expenses? What type of debt can we layer on? So then if it fits in our little sandbox of returns, we go for it, right? We make a bid and hope everything works out. And if it doesn't, like I said, you just move on. Now with developments, you have to be very market specific. We're very, very, very market specific. So we've got about, I think like 300, 400, 500 units being delivered in the next couple of months in Sioux Falls. We have another 1,000 plus units that we are going to develop. So once we fully mature out that market, then we can go to another market. So development is kind of different. Acquisitions is kind of different.
Yeah. Okay. So for development, man, I've seen that like a lot of maybe not a problem, maybe an obstacle, maybe, I don't know, maybe part of the journey, right? A crucial part of the journey is selling the development. How do you go about that?
Selling the development to who?
The development, like you develop and you
But
have,
yeah,
how do
but
you go
who are
about,
like how what? No, but like what? You build the building and now you have to sell it.
well, is that how you go about it? Or do you sell before you build? Or how,
Or
what's
sell
like,
to who? But who are we selling it to? The next buyer?
so for example, so you raise capital for developing, you develop, right? And
Yeah.
then do you develop to hold or do you develop to sell whatever it is that
Oh,
you developed?
everything we have is for sale. So if some guy shows up and wants to give us more money, we will sell every single thing, including the furniture in my house. If we don't get a good price, then we'll hold on to the deal. So it's very case by case dependent, right? Look, I'll be honest. Tomorrow, if you come and you offer us, and hopefully you do, really hope so, right? You come to look at our properties and you say, hey, I'm going to give you XYZ value, right?
Yeah.
This way, if an asset is worth 30, we feel an asset is worth $30 million, but you give us $40 million, right? We'll sell it. We'll sell it tomorrow. In fact, we'll sell it today to you right now. We'll sell it. But for instance, if we've done the valuation, we feel the asset's worth $30 million and we don't have any pressure to sell, you offer us $25 million, we'll have to politely decline, right?
Hmm.
So a lot of times it just depends. If somebody gives us an offer that is above where we think we are, where we valued it, we'll sell it. Yeah, we have no qualms in selling or holding. By the way, we're
Hmm.
agnostic. Whichever
Yeah.
helps our investors and our partners make the most amount of money. Yeah, we're agnostic between those decisions.
So you've sold a bunch of deals, right? Like for example, the Blair on Bidders, 190 units, multi-million dollar property, 284 units on the Watna Creek. So like, what are the types of people that buy these kinds of properties, man?
Rich people, poor
Like
people
other
can't afford.
investors?
Yeah, other investors, institutions buy this, private individuals that are extremely rich buy this. It's a whole bunch of things, man. It's a big world. There's lots of rich people in this world, and hopefully we get to meet a lot more rich people, or institutions, or companies. And we're in markets that are reasonably big, so uh, there's a great broker network. We're very happy with the brokers we talk to. They're a very essential cog in this whole values chain. So, whenever we want to sell, we always go back to the brokers we bought the deals from to make sure that they are rewarded for helping us get the acquisitions. And
Nice.
yeah, it's not that hard to sell. I mean, I can tell you this: if you're in any major market in America, it's really not that hard to sell. Buying is a
Hmm.
pain in the ass. Selling is not a pain in the ass.
That's crazy, right? So why is that? What do you think that is? There's a
Man,
lot of there's a lot of money being printed, or what's the
hey
reasoning?
man, okay, man, I hope people don't take this the wrong way. If you're a super attractive woman sitting at a bar, is it easier or is it hard for you to get a date?
Well, for the woman, it's like she could just
Exactly.
snap her
So in
fingers.
exactly. So in the case when we're selling, we're the attractive woman. In the case when we're buying, we're the guy trying to approach the attractive woman.
That's a really great analogy, man.
So when we're selling, we're the attractive woman because we've done a great job. We make sure we take care of our assets, we take care of our residents, we take care of people. So by the time it's about to sell, the next person gets a great looking asset from us.
Awesome. So, man, we have a couple of minutes, and I finished my podcast with a couple of questions. And the first one that I want to ask is, if you could, well, this is not the first question, but how many years have you been in this game?
So in transactions, I think I've been around 10 years or so, give or take.
So if you could go like a decade back into the future, into the past, right, and give yourself some feedback to help you have, I don't know, maybe bigger success, maybe smoother success. What would you tell yourself, Omar?
I wouldn't tell myself anything. You have to learn things. Uh, you have to learn things by doing them. So the most I could say is, I guess, do don't be hesitant, do things more. But look, there's a lot of things, man, you just learn by doing, right? It's a bit like learning how to ride a bicycle. You can read all the books in the world, you can motivate yourself by watching all the YouTube videos about motivation, but you still got to get on the bike and learn how to like pedal, right? And
Yeah.
while you're learning how to pedal, you'll fall down, right? Everybody falls down. I fell down, you fell down, everybody fell. But you get up, you try to pedal again, maybe you got training wheels, and slowly you get your confidence, right? And and you start riding a bicycle, and you ride a bigger bicycle, and maybe you ride a motorbike or something. So I wouldn't change anything. I think a lot of these things you just have to learn, because if you take shortcuts, then you don't fully understand the learning, and that can have ramifications later down in your career.
Yeah, for
Right?
sure.
That's
So,
what I think. Yeah.
yeah, that's great. So you're not like too exposed or too like, but you don't participate a lot in like the coaching and all of that, right? A lot of the people that I talk to do.
So, I'm
But
going to be honest
well,
with you. Most coaches, just hope nobody takes it the wrong way. Most coaching and most mentorship programs in real estate are a complete scam. Guys that are really good at doing deals and are crushing it on doing deals, they're just making so much money. They don't have time to do shitty coaching or mentorship.
yeah,
Okay. Nobody's doing paid mentorship. Okay. It's only guys, typically, not always. Typically, it's guys who can't hack it, who can't do deals, who are pretty shitty at operations. Those are the ones offering you great advice. Okay. You don't see, as an example, Sam Zell, the late great Sam Zell, or the current great, Barry Sternlicht, giving weekend courses at the airport Sheraton. Okay, man, these people are too busy making real money. Okay,
yeah,
so people that are, and by the way, it's a very lucrative business. That's why a lot of people want to get into the business, right? So it's such a lucrative business that you're the ones that are really crushing it on the top of their game. Yeah, they don't typically have time to do all this bullshit.
Okay. And but what do you think would hold someone who wants to, get inside in this career, in the real estate development career, real estate
Yeah.
investing? They want to become a real estate investor, real estate developer. What do you think would hold most of those people back, right, from actually making it happen? And what would you tell them, right, to like be able to solve that
Being an
problem?
investor isn't really that hard. I mean, if you got the money, you can go invest. It's really not that hard. You just have to have the money, I guess. So I guess you should focus on maybe having a good job. If you want to go through college, that typically helps. Not always. That typically helps. You should be in, say, somewhat lucrative professions, like, say, maybe in the STEM field. Maybe you're an engineer. Maybe you're a doctor. Maybe you're a lawyer. Or maybe you're an investment banking accountant. Typical fields that pay higher. It doesn't mean you can't be in other fields, but a lot of the other fields might not pay that much, right? So you need to have money to invest. If you don't got the money, it's kind of hard to invest, right? Because you kind of have to have something, right? Or have rich parents, one or the other, right? Who gives a shit, right? Or if you want to be a real estate developer, then go work for a real estate developer, right? Learn the ropes, maybe get transaction experience. Maybe you realize as a process of going through that, maybe you don't want to be a developer. Maybe you want to be in capital markets. Maybe you want to be in operations. My point is, you got to go work for somebody that's smart, not some random Joe Blow, some proper company doing proper things so you can learn. And it doesn't mean you have to stay there forever, right? But at least you get good exposure to high quality people at the top of the food chain, so you understand, well, what do high performers do and what do they look like? Because watching YouTube videos ain't gonna cut it, man. In the
Yeah,
real world, nobody gives a shit about motivation. Nobody gives a shit about positive thinking. What people care is, hey, can you do the work? And do you have the experience or the track record to do the work? Because nobody's just going to hand you money. I mean, they're not going to do it more than once, at least, right? And say, hey, here you go, experiment with my money, right? So that's why working with the right people, working under the right people, that really helps, because that's kind of like a mentorship. It's just that you're doing a job and nobody's trying to say, hey, give me 30 grand to join my coaching program. Okay. People that are doing real work, they make a lot of money. They don't got time for this coaching and mentorship program, as in a paid mentorship. You go work with them. If they accept you into their company, they'll pay you a good salary. Anybody who tells you to work for free, don't work for that clown, because you should never work for free.
yeah, for
Okay.
sure.
People that are doing legitimate transactions, that have real businesses, don't have people working for them for free to learn. Nobody gives a shit. They don't have time, right? So if they hire you, they're hiring you because obviously there's some positive trait in you, right? Maybe you're really good at accounting or financial modeling or something. Now you've used that as a means to come provide value to them, get a salary in the process to learn, and then you can decide if you want to move on or stay at the same place or whatever.
Awesome. Omar, the next question is, what is that lion that you have beneath you, man, about? What is that about? Do you like
Where is it?
lions? Your lion.
Oh,
Is that a
oh
mask?
yeah, it's just like the logo for my company. So my wife found it somewhere. She thought it looked cute, so she got it.
Yeah. Do you like lions though?
I mean, I've never had a pet lion. I guess I don't hate them.
Do you
I
do
don't
you
hate them.
do you
Yeah, it
identify
was cute.
yourself?
My wife got it. Yeah, it doesn't just look cute. My wife got it, so yeah, there's no meaning attached to it.
Well, it's really good. All right.
Yeah,
I thought
I
you
like
like
it. I like it.
identified yourself as like a
No,
lion, right?
no, no,
Like a
no.
beast or something like that.
Dude, look at my hands. My hands are so nice and soft. I don't have a muscular body. There is nothing lion. I
Yeah. Okay. Oh,
have
I
my
just
beard. I don't know. Does a mane qualify as a lion? Because I still have my hair, so that helps, right?
okay.
But yeah,
So
no. It's so cute. My wife got it, so we just put it. Yeah.
pretty cool. Well, really nice
Yeah, right. I'm
present.
gonna pass it on to my wife and tell her that she has good taste. I'll tell her that.
All right, thanks, man. The last question is, um, what is like networking is evident. It is evident that networking is important, right? You gotta be networking with wealthy individuals to sell them your multi-million dollar assets, and you gotta be networking with people who can sell you properties and stuff like that. So, what is a networking strategy, or maybe I don't know, system that you implement, man, to be able to make sure that you get the money, right? To make sure that you are able to sell deals and to make sure that Boardwalk is, goes the right direction towards success.
Look, I don't think I have a system, but look, I think it really helps going to the right schools, right? That really helps. I mean, I was lucky enough. I went to a really good private school growing up, went to a great college, had great work experiences, professionally speaking. So that develops your professional network. I always feel though that, for instance, if you have social graces, you're easygoing, you're easy, professional when you meet people, you dress appropriately. That also opens a lot of doors. I'm part of a few clubs. I'm part of EO as well, Entrepreneurs Organization. I don't really solicit there, but it's good to meet other people and create awareness. Yeah, I don't have a system. I think a lot of this is how you live your life, right? You should present yourself professionally. It always helps to go to the right schools. This is why I always laugh when people say, "Oh, college is overrated." I was like, "Yeah, it might be overrated for you because you might have gone to a shitty college, but for people that
Yeah.
top tier colleges, you're not going there just for the education. You're going there for the network they can provide you. So if you go to a
Yeah.
Harvard, Princeton, right? At least in this country, a Stanford, right, or any of this Dartmouth, Brown, whatever other
There's a lot
good
of
schools
people
there
in there that do have rich parents, right?
yeah. Look, that helps, right? Like I said, if it's hard to create money if you don't have money, right? But my point is, you're not going to any of these top ranked schools because they have one magic secret textbook nobody else has. No, it doesn't really exist like that. You're going there because it provides you a good network. Because typically the other people that are going to those schools are either from have rich parents, they're very driven, they've got great networks. So if you tap into them, you become good friends. You can tap into their network the same way they rely on you to tap into your networks, right? You got to help people around. You should be easygoing. You should be personable. You should always present yourself nicely. But dude, short of that, there is no like system. Because if there was a system, nobody look. Think about it this way, man. If some guy only called you because he needed money, that's the only time the guy ever calls you. That's not really a relationship. It's more of a transactional affair that's happening,
Yeah.
right? So all the stuff that, at least in my life, that I hear about people saying, "Oh, there's a system for networking and blah blah blah." Yeah, if you really are that thirsty, right, and you're always, uh, you can't make it transactional. Do you understand? You can't just make it, "Hey, I just need money. That's why I'm meeting this person." It's just got to become a part of your life. You should be easygoing. You should be presentable. You should easily be able to go and talk to people, and they should be able to talk to you, right? And then over a period of time, if you do it for long enough, you have to be somewhat intentional about it. Obviously, you do it long enough, then you don't even think you're networking. You're not networking. You understand? You're just meeting people, and along the way, they can become partners. They can become investors. They can open up other sources and avenues for you as well. But you
Mhm.
have to treat it like you have to be a normal person. You don't have to be a weirdo, right? That's networking all the time. Because those type of people, they don't really go that far because it's very transactional, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to be a transactional person. You want to be a relationship oriented person. You want to provide value. You don't want to be like, "Hey, you did this for me, therefore I'm doing this for you." That doesn't get you very far in life, I feel.
hmm Okay. Awesome. Well, thanks for the feedback and the advice. So, what
Yeah.
private school did you go to, man? I'm curious.
I went to Pakistan. I'm from Pakistan, so I went to a really good private school there. But yeah, I mean, I don't. You probably won't even know about it because obviously it's not in this country. But I think the bigger thing, like everybody from my school, pretty much everybody from my school went to some sort of a top tier college, and pretty much everybody's either a doctor, a lawyer. Well, maybe one or two lawyers. A lot of people are doctors. Lots of people are engineers. couple of people are in finance, investment banking. So, and they've all gone to top tier schools around the world, pretty much, barring maybe one or two people, right? But that's the same reflection, by the way, for great schools in America, great schools in Canada. I lived in Canada and now I live in America, so I can say that. Great schools in India, great schools in anywhere in the world. When you go to great schools, you're typically surrounded by other high achievers, right?
Yeah.
That really helps. Now, that's not the only way you get ahead, obviously, but you want to make life easy for yourself, right? You don't want to make it harder for yourself. So that's why, in my opinion, that's why people go to these schools. That's why people go to these country clubs. Just because you meet other people of a similar, if not drive, then at least a certain socioeconomic level, right? And then hopefully, if you have a good relationship with them, you provided value to them, they provide value to you, right? But you can't just go in thinking, okay, that's kind of what I need. I need $50,000 from that guy. $2 million. That doesn't really work out that way.
Yeah. So awesome, man. Thanks for the feedback. So Omar, do you have anything else that you may want to share? Again, people who listen to this show are either active real estate investors, right, who have probably gotten a lot of value from you, and a lot of them are also passive investors as well. Either way, there are people who have chosen to use real estate as a wealth creation vehicle, whether that's passively or actively. Is there anything that you may want to share with them, any opportunity or anything like that?
Look, I mean, opportunity wise, you can always reach out to me. Like I said, you can go to our website, right on the homepage, you can sign up for a mailing list. So that'll give you insight into what we do. But look, what I tell people is, look, and a lot of people are finding this out the hard way now. A lot of times people just look at returns and say, oh, that person's 30 and this other guy's 20. 30 must be better than 20. Real world doesn't really work like that. When you've worked really hard for your money, please make sure you're working with the right professional people, right? Not some random guy you've heard about and he's got a flashy website and wears a shiny suit, right? Don't do that, right? It's the equivalent of what I tell people is, look, if you're walking down the street and a random guy in a weird van shows up and says, hey man, do you want candy? Why don't you come to my van? You're probably not going to go to the van. That's a dead sign, right? Don't talk to this guy, right? Same thing in life, right? You work really hard for your money. Make sure you give it to people that are competent, that have good character. You talk to them multiple times. Don't be swayed by flashy marketing, because typically the flashier the marketing, the worse the operator. Typically, it's
It
like
is,
empty vessels create the most noise, right? So it's that sort of deal. But again, you have to be very careful. Don't just date before you marry, essentially.
Cool. Awesome. Well, Omar, thank you very much, man. Thank you for all of the wisdom you've shared today. And we'll put your website, boardwalkwealth.com, in wherever this episode appears, so that people can get an opportunity to join your list and get all of the education you share and all the things that you send out. And that's it, man. Thank you very much.
I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for having me. Bye for now.
Thank you for listening to the Modern Real Estate Investor Podcast. We want you to know that we love and appreciate you, and we're super grateful about being part of your journey of becoming a successful real estate entrepreneur and having it all. Please share this episode with a friend who you think will be impacted positively. Send it to someone who you know is interested in real estate and dreams of having it all and being the best they can be across all areas. And if you thought this episode was really valuable, share it on your social media as a post or a story. We have a special gift for all of those who contribute to the Modern Kings and Queens movement. So for those of you who decided to share this episode and help us spread our message, send me a message letting me know on any social media platform at Alex Ramirez, the Modern King. I have a special surprise for you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.